Hello friends, this is 𝗧𝗦𝗔𝗧 from 10th standard and I am from TTWREIS Boys Ettunagaram. So my dear friends, today we are going to discuss 10th class biological science topic reproduction in plants. Okay, topic reproduction in plants. So my dear friends, before I go into a topic, I'll ask you a question. Okay, so what is reproduction? What is reproduction Asal? So reproduction means all the living organisms have limited lifespan and die sooner or later. Okay, and die sooner or later. So they produce young ones like themselves during their lifetime, so that their species may not die out. This process is called reproduction. Okay, this process is called reproduction. In the same way, plants also reproduce in a number of ways, dear friends. In the same way, plants also reproduce in a number of ways. So what is the image which you are seeing here, my dear friends? Yes, it is flowering plant. It is flowering plants. So dear friends, when you see the image, the first thing is visible to you are a beautiful and colorful flowers. So where does this beautiful and colorful flowers are present? Yes, these beautiful and colorful flowers are present on green plant. The green plant is get a beauty through these flowers. Okay, the green plant gets a beauty through these flowers. And you know one thing, my dear friends, the total process of reproduction is also takes place in this flower. The total reproduction process is also takes place in this flower. So here the flower is give a beauty to the plant as well as helps in reproduction. That is, what is this reproduction? That is sexual reproduction. Okay, that is sexual reproduction. So my dear friends, let us learn a species of flowering plant. Let us learn species of flowering plant. So do you know friends, how many species of flowering plants are there around us? Yes, there are 2,75,000 of species of flowering plants are there around us. 2,75,000 species of flowering plants are there around us. So their plant size range from tree weaving many tons to teeny water plants. But the special character is flowering. Yes friends, they all perform flowering. How they perform flowering as well as the reproduction is also takes place in those flower. Okay, reproduction is also takes place in those flower. That is, exclusively sexual reproduction is going on in each flower. Okay, sexual reproduction is going on in each flower. So see the image friends, what is this? Anyone guess? Yes, this is a sal tree. This sal tree is grows in Himalayan mountain. So my dear friends, you know very well what is the climate condition of Himalayan mountain. There is a extreme cold condition, right? Extreme cold condition. But even in that extreme cold condition, they can perform flowering. As well as reproduction is also takes place in that sal trees flower. Reproduction is also takes place in that sal trees flower. That is, sexual reproduction is also takes place. So see the another image friends, what is this? Yes, this is giant cactus. This was grows in, where does it grows? It was grows in desert area like Sahara desert and Thar desert. It was grows in desert area. So as well as you know what is the condition of desert area, right? There was a very hot. Even in that drastic hot condition, they can perform flowering. as well as reproduction is also takes place in those cactus plants flower, in those cactus plants flower. So dear friends, let us learn about parts of a flower. Let us learn about parts of a flower. So see here friends, this is the what is this? This is the stalk, and this is thalamus, and this is sepals, petals, style, ovary, stigma, stamen. Okay, stamen. So these are the parts of a flower. So let me discuss one by one. Okay, let me discuss one by one. Where we hold the flower, this region is called, this region is swollen head-like structure. It was a green in color, and it was called thalamus. This is called thalamus, and thalamus is the seat of total body of the flower. Okay, thalamus is the seat of total body of the flower, and just above the thalamus there is a sepals. There is a sepals, and another name of sepal is called calyx. Another name of sepal is calyx, and these sepals are funnel-like structure. These sepals are funnel-like structure and green in color. Funnel-like structure and green in color. Okay, just above the another part, just above the sepals, there is a petals. Petals is the colorful part in the flower. Sepals are the colorful part on the flower, and there are different types of colors are there in different types of flowers, dear friends. If you take a datura flower, datura flowers petals has white and blue color, but hibiscus flower has red color. So the different types of colors are there in different flowers, that is petal. Okay, so the sepal and petals are the vegetative parts of a flower. Sepal and petals are the vegetative part of a flower. They not involved in reproduction. Yes friends, they not involved in reproduction, but they protect the internal part of a flower. They protect the internal part of a flowers, that are ovary, ovules and style, etc. parts. They protect the internal part of a flower, as well as petals are useful to attract the pollinators. Attract the pollinators, such as what are that? Butterflies and honeybees, right? Butterflies and honeybees. So petals are useful to attract the pollinators. So the another part is, what is this? Stamen. This total part is called stamen. So stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower. Okay, stamen is the male reproductive part of a flower. Stamen consists of two parts, friend. Stamens consist two parts. Those are, one is anther and one is filament. One is anther and one is filament. Anther is the bulb-like structure, and it was produced pollen grains. It was bulb-like structure and it was produced pollen grains, which can helps in fertilization. Yes, which can helps in fertilization or pollination. Okay, and whitish thread-like structure is called, whitish thread-like structure is called, what is this? Filament. Filament, right? Filament is gave a support to the anther, and it give a support to the anther. And there are different types of stamens are there in different types of flowers, dear friends. There are different types of stamens are there in different types of flower. Okay, so if you take a flower like this, is a hibiscus flower, right? This is a hibiscus flower. So the stamens are attached to hibiscus flower, attached to style of this carpel, right? Style of the carpel. So and if you take a datura flower in your nearby areas and tear its peel, so you may observe the filaments are attached to the petals of a datura flower. Petals of a datura flower. So there are different types of stamens are there in different types of flowers. Different types of stamens are there in different types of flower, right? So next part is, what is that? Carpel. Next part is carpel. Carpel is the female reproductive part of a flower. Carpel is the female reproductive part of a flower. Carpel consists 3 parts. Yes friends, carpel consists 3 parts. One is stigma, and one is style, and one is ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. The terminal part of the carpel is called stigma. The middle elongated part is called style, and bottom swollen part is called ovary. Ovary is produce a ovules, friends. Ovary is produce a ovules which can helps in fertilization. Which can helps in fertilization. Okay, and as well as how stamens are different in different flower. Here also carpels are also different types of carpels are there in different flowers. Different types of carpels are there in different flowers. So, and group of these carpels are also called gynoecium, and group of stamen are also called androecium. Group of stamens are called androecium, and group of carpels are called gynoecium. Okay, group of carpels are called gynoecium. So based on the presence and absence of the floral part of a flower, there are 2 types, my dear friends. There are two types. One is bisexual and another one is unisexual flower. One is bisexual and another one is unisexual flower. Bisexual flower means that flower that has both stamen and anther, stamen and gynoecium, those are called bisexual flowers. So bisexual flower is consist female reproductive part and male reproductive part. Those are such types of flowers are called bisexual flowers. Example are datura flower and datura flower, hibiscus flower and sunflower, extra flowers, and pea plant flower also has bisexual flower. Okay, bisexual flower. So let me discuss unisexual flower. Unisexual flower. Unisexual flower means the flower that has either male reproductive part or female reproductive part, means gynoecium or androecium. Such types of flowers are called unisexual flower. Unisexual flower. So examples in bottle gourd flower and bitter gourd flower and cucumber, etc. flowers are there unisexual flowers. Mostly on our earth unisexual flowers are most are there, right? So now we'll learn about types of flowers, right? Types of flowers. So let us learn pollination. Okay, let us learn pollination. Dear friends, you know what is pollination? Yes, pollination means when the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma. When the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma is called pollination. Anther to stigma is called pollination. So dear friends, there are 2 types in pollination. There are 2 types in pollination. One is self-pollination and one is cross-pollination. One is self-pollination, another one is cross-pollination. Self-pollination means when the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of a same flower is called self-pollination. Okay, is called self-pollination. And cross-pollination means when the pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of another flower of same species. Okay, of another flower of same species is called cross-pollination. Okay, is called cross-pollination. So you may get a doubt, my dear friends, I think, how pollination will occur. So you know agents of pollination. Yes, there are many agents of pollination. Example, wind, water, insects, and animals and human beings activities are also participate in pollination, right? Are also participate in pollination. So example we take like butterfly. Butterflies are go to suck the nectar of a flower, right? The butterflies are go to suck the nectar of a flower. When they go to suck the nectar of a flower, then the pollen grains are attached to the butterfly's body parts, like body region or legs. So when the butterfly is go to suck the nectar of another flower, then the pollen grains are stuck to the stigma of a flower. Like this, pollination will occurs in each flower in the nature, right? Mostly butterflies and honeybees are plays a major role in pollination, and they are helps to farmers, right? There are butterflies and honeybees are helps to farmers also. Okay, so let me dear friends, how you may get a doubt, I think again, how pollen grains are stuck to the stigma. How it is possible? How it is possible means the region of the stigma, the cells of the stigma region, they produce the secretes a sticky nutrients such as sugar and other. Those are helps to stuck the pollen grains on the stigma. Okay, so when the pollen grains are stuck to the stigma, then it will be germinate there. Okay, so dear friends, now you will learn about a pollination, right? Now we will learn about pollination. Let us learn about what male and female gametes in plant. Okay, male and female gametes in plants. So you know male gametes? Yes, male gametes means the pollen grains. Male gametes means pollen grains. Pollen grains means which are produced by anther are called pollen grains. Which are produced by anther are called pollen grains. So pollen grain is a microscopic structure and it was a bulb-like structure. Microscopic and it was a bulb-like structure. It consists two nuclei. And this is a male gamete. So let me go to discuss female gamete. You know female gamete? Yes, female gametes are ovules. Ovules means, yes, which are produced by ovary, those are called ovules. Which are produced by ovary, those are called ovules, right? So the structure of the ovule is a egg-shaped like structure and attached to the stalk. Inside the ovary. Okay, attached to stalk inside the ovary. Depending upon the species of the plant, an ovary may have 1 or 2 or even hundreds of ovules. Yes friends, ovary may produce 1, 2 or even hundreds of ovules. So at the center of each ovule there is a microscopic embryo sac is present, and it was filled with food materials and water. Okay, so each embryo sac is consist with gametophytic cell. Okay, each embryo sac is consist with gametophytic cell, and each embryo sac have 7 cells and 8 nucleus. Each embryo sac have 7 cells and 8 nucleus. See the image friends, there are 7 cells and 8 nucleus in that image, right? In that image. So embryo sac have 7 cells and 8 nuclei. At first it undergoes series of 3 mitotic cell division to form 8 nucleate stage in the ovule. Among these, one large central cell is consist 2 nuclei. And that is called polar nuclei. polar nuclei, and 3 cells are moves towards top. 3 cells are moves towards top. Those are called antipodals. Those are called antipodals. And 3 cells are grouped at micropylar end. 3 cells are grouped at micropylar end. Which of these two are called synergids, and central one is called egg cell. Central one is called egg cell. So, dear friends, what to learn now? The future or external internal structure of ovule, right? Internal structure of ovule. So, let we go to learn fertilization. Let we go to learn fertilization. You know what is fertilization, friends? You know what is fertilization? Yes, fertilization means fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization, right? Fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. So, once a pollen grains are reaches to the stigma of a suitable flower, once the pollen grains are reaches to the stigma of a suitable flower, after that a pollen tube is formed by pollen grain. After that a pollen tube is formed by pollen grain, and it travels through stale and reaches to the ovary and gave a connection to the ovary. Okay, and gave a connection to the ovary. And see the image, friends. There are you can saw the pollen tube which is travels through the stale. Okay, which is travels through the stale. So now one of the male nucleus is travel in this pollen tube and reaches to the egg cell which is present in the ovule of the ovary, which is present in the ovule of the ovary. Okay. So this type of fusion of, now the male nucleus and female nucleus are fused together. Male nucleus and female nucleus are fused together to form a zygote. This type of fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. This type of fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. Okay. So after fertilization, zygote will divide several times to form a embryo inside the ovule. To form a embryo inside the ovule. So after formation of embryo inside the ovule, the polar nuclei are combined to form. Polar nuclei are combined to form a single nucleus called fusion nucleus. Okay, combined to form a fusion nucleus. Now the second male nucleus is deposited in the embryo sac by the pollen tube, and pollen tube is moved to the center. Okay, and pollen tube is moved to the center and units with fusion nuclei. Now union of second male nucleus with fusion nucleus stimulates the formation of new tissue. Stimulates the formation of new tissue called, what is that? Endosperm. Endosperm is contain food materials and water and minerals. Okay. So union of first nucleus with egg cell and fusion nucleus with second male nucleus is called double fertilization. After finishing the formation of fertilization or embryo or endosperm in the ovule, the zygote, the ovule develops a tough coat and generally converted into seed. Okay, generally converted into seed, and ovary may goes rapidly and repines to form fruit. Okay, repines to form fruit. So manually, all after growing the after growing the fruit inside the ovule, all parts may manually, all parts are shrivel and fall off. Okay, all parts are shrivel and fall off. Okay. So dear friends, let me go to learn life cycle of plants. What is that image? Yes, life cycle of plant. Yes, life cycle of a flowering plant. The sexual parts of a flower, such as stamen and other, are participate in pollination and fertilization. Okay, stamen and other parts are participate in fertilization. During fertilization, zygote will formed. Zygote will change into fruit, and ovary may change into zygote will change into seed and ovary may converted into fruit. Ovary may converted into fruit. After the when the seed is buried, the seeds, the new plant is grow from a seed, right? The new plant is grow from a seed. See the image, friends. When the fruit is buried, the new plant is grows from a seed. Okay, you may see clearly in the image. And new plant is grows from a seed, and it grows in under favorable condition. Okay, friends. The seed is grows in under favorable condition. So let we go to improve your learning, right? Improve your learning. Write about unisexual and bisexual flowers. Write about unisexual and bisexual flowers. Friends, listen the questions carefully and you may try it in your home, right? And define pollination. Define pollination. Mention of types of pollination, right? Mention types of pollination. Draw the diagram TS of flower. Draw the diagram TS of flower. Explain in details about double fertilization. So, dear friends, I will hope you will all solve these questions, and thankful to all who those are guide me, my Mamata madam and my school principal sir, and also as well as special thankful to our secretary sir. Thank you to all.